What's up, everybody? Michael Silva here to do another technical analysis update on the SP 500. I got a special guest with me today. Coco, say hello. Hi. Okay, so what do we got going on today? Something very interesting happened that I am paying close attention to, and that is the price action from today's candle. It gapped down, indicating that it was pretty bearish, pushed further to the downside, but then it filled the window. It closed the window, that gap, kind of the no man's land gap, and then kept on pushing above to close on pretty much the high of the day. That is bullish. That is very bullish. It really is going to depend on where the price action opens up tomorrow, because this could be just tricking some people and then maybe potentially it gaps down and then we'll see it maybe bounce from this 50-day period moving average, or we'll just see some continued momentum to the upside. Now, what I find very interesting about the pattern that's currently forming here is this. So if I just kind of draw a trend line from this point to this point, it kind of is resembling a potential head and shoulders pattern. So we see this kind of bounce up there, like bounce up here, and it's slightly at an angle, which is it's really good for these patterns. This price action today indicates that we might see some further move to the upside. Now, where would it get? I mean, some people might look at this like, no, it can bounce up and come all the way to the 3,000. Yeah, that's absolutely possible, because we have seen in the past where it goes up, pulls back, up, pulls back, up, pulls back, and this could be that next up move all the way up to the 3,000 range. However, if it is a head and shoulders, what makes me believe it could be that first is simply because this, just similar to today, how the gap got filled and then pushed higher above, there's typically a lot of resistance once those windows or those gaps are closed. And the next area for that would be from Friday's price action, how it gapped down and then pushed all the way downwards. So there's been some pretty monster gap downs and gap ups these last few months. Actually, fun fact, March had the record amount of gap downs in history, the largest gap downs and the most gap downs, and then April had the highest amount of gap ups in history. So that's pretty kind of a cool little fact there. So these typically will create a lot of resistance. So that head and shoulders pattern, if it does, go here, it went here, and then closes that gap and gets rejected to move further to the downside, this then would be a pretty like blatant head and shoulders pattern where you might see the break to of the neckline downwards. Now the neckline would be technically right at 27.26, so just right in this area, maybe a little bit higher. Yeah, let's just call it 27.50, just to keep it simple. So you might see a potential move here, and then you would really want to wait for that break to really start pushing more towards the short side. This would also potentially be a good area to go long and just have a really tight stop loss, just in case if you end up seeing another bounce to the upside. Because still we're in that pattern where it goes up, pulls back, goes up, pull back, goes up, pull back, and it might not break the low of this. So you might still see a lot of support in this area. If you drop into the 30-minute time frame, you'll notice right out of the gate what I was talking about, that gap down and then push all the way down, and then create this nice reversal candle, and then kind of just went sideways and then pushed up through that window. The next window to be closed is all the way up here, and then that means it also has to go through the 50-day period moving average. So there's going to be some work for the bulls, but they definitely showed a lot of strength today, especially closing above this. So it does look like the bulls are not ready to let the bears take advantage of them yet. It's going to be some time before we really see what happens. One of the indicators too, I just want to go back over to the daily. The squiggly lines down here, still, like I said in previous videos, I mean, this can go like this for quite some time. It looks like it's getting closer and closer to freaking curling over, but I don't know when it's going to be. And honestly, it can always just come right to here and then continue its projection to the upside. So yeah, like keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye for the MACD crossing over. Keep an eye out for this gap fill. And then if it does close above this gap fill, the next stop would be that 3,000 range that we've been talking about, that you see a lot of videos about and so forth. But I think that if we do break through this 27.50, we will see that head and shoulders pattern. That's the neckline, kind of break through and kind of move lower from that point. So that's all I have for you. Everyone have a good day. Coco, goodbye.